Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me and thank you so much for choosing to spend your time with me watching this video. Today we will make full-size file folder. This is the one that I made previously. So it does close with Velcro dots. When you open it, you can see that you have plenty of room. And this one is big enough for full-size page. So to make this file folder, I will use 12 by 12 chipboard. I will give you the description and information about the chipboard in a description. For this project, we will need 6 pieces of chipboard, 3 by 12. Now, this chipboard is not as heavy as I would like it to be, so I actually double up on a chipboard. So if your chipboard is heavier than this, then you can use only 3 pieces instead of 6. I also had to double up on a chipboard for the front and the back, so I'm using 4 pieces, 9 by 12. If your chipboard is heavier, then you can use only 2 sheets. For this project, I will use total of 5 sheets of paper, 12 by 12. So this one I'm gonna use as a decoration for the flap. These 2 pieces I will use for the front and the back. I'm just gonna cut it different way, so the front and the back will be a little bit different. And I will use 2 pieces of paper for the accordion for the side. We will also I will use white cardstock for the separation in a folder. This particular paper came from this collection, the Mariposa stack, and I used this one in my 2 previous projects. As I mentioned to you, I absolutely love this collection, and you can see even on the top how beautiful those designs are. So this is the one I will use. Since I will double up on my cardstock, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna glue 2 pieces one to another, just like that, and I will do the same thing to the big sheets. So basically I'm gonna end up with 2 pieces 9 by 12 and 3 pieces 3 by 12. So to double up on a cardstock, I will just, on a chipboard, I will just apply the glue to the chipboard and glue 2 pieces together. Just like that, making sure that everything is straight. Just like this. And I will do the same thing to all my pieces. I will just glue 2 pieces together just the way I showed you. Okay, since I double up on the chipboard, basically glue 2 pieces together, I ended up with 3 pieces 3 by 12, And as you can see, this is much sturdier and thicker. And I ended up with 2 pieces 9 by 12. So now we will need to cover all those pieces. To cover our chipboard, I will be using cardstock paper. It's a 65 pound by Recollections. I purchased this one from Michael's. So I think we will use 3 or 4 sheets. I know that for our front and the back, I will need to glue some pages together, just because the chipboard is 12 inches wide and the cardstock is 12 inches wide. So I will pre-cut the cardstock, at least 1 sheet. I will need 2 strips, 3 inches long. And we will join the cardstock. So I will apply the glue so we can join them. So here is first one. And we will do the same thing to the second one. Okay. So now we're gonna be able to wrap the chipboard, but this cardstock is still a little bit too long. Since our chipboard is 9 inches tall, we will cut the cardstock to 11 inches. So I need to cut off about 1 inch from both of them. Okay, so now we can wrap them. So we will just apply the glue. And we will place it right on the middle. So around you should have approximately 1 inch. If you have a little bit more, that's really no big deal. So after we glue it, we will score all around 4 sides. We will fold the paper as we normally do. We will take spatula and run against the edges to have those really nice sharp edges. They are going to be very nice and crisp. So now we will miter the corners. Again, small angle and leave a little bit paper by the corner, just to make sure that we won't see the chipboard when we actually fold those pages and glue them together. Okay, then we will apply the glue all the way around, and we will glue the cardstock into the chipboard on all four sides. If you think that your corners are a little bit too sharp, you can just run spatula around it just to kind of soften them a little bit. And we do have our first page wrapped, and I will do the same thing to the second one. I will continue with the same process, and I will be right back. Okay, I got my two pieces glued. So now we need to work on the smaller pieces. Now it looks like all these pieces are also too long for the paper, so we will have to extend this paper, and I have piece left, so I will just glue this one right here. So now the joint, I'm going to put it somewhere in the middle, and now we need to cut off. I need to leave only 1 inch on this side, so I need to cut off about 3.5 inches, which I will do right now. Okay, this piece is 3 by 12, so this is going to be our length, and we need to cut this piece. The cardstock needs to be 5 inches, so we have 1 inch on each side. So I will cut this one 5 inches, and we will need another 2. Okay, so we got 2 pieces. This is to cover this one to cover that, and we still have one more chipboard left, which means I'm gonna have to take another piece of paper. I will pre-cut this one to 5 inches. And I will need to cut one more piece to 5 inches because we're gonna have to extend the length. Okay. So now I will join both these pieces. Just like that. So now when I position the chipboard, leaving approximately 1 inch all around, I need to trim this paper, this side, about 1 inch. So now let's glue this one. We will place it here. We will also score it all around, just the same way as we did the front and the back pieces. We will fold that. All four sides. We will run spatula on each side. And now we will miter the corners, leaving a little bit of paper. Don't cut all the way to the chipboard. Okay, and we will glue this. Okay, this one is done, and I will do the same thing to the other two pieces. I will do this off camera. Okay, so I have all the pieces glued. Here is the bottom, top, and a flap, and then we have the front and the back. So now we will decorate all these parts, and to do that we will cut our paper. So for the front I want to use this one. So we know that the front panel measures 9 inches by 12. So we need to cut this paper to 11 3/4. I don't want to cut out the design, so 11 3/4 by 8 3/4. So this will be my front. For the back, I need 8 3/4 by 11 3/4. So this will be the back. Now for the flap that is gonna go on the top of the front, I want to use this design, for which this piece measures 3 inches, so I need 2 3/4. And I think that's gonna be perfect, because I can still get almost the whole design, but not quite. So I will just trim a little bit one side, and you really don't have to do this. What you need to do is make sure that your width, it's gonna be 2 3/4. So now I got width 2 3/4, and this needs to be 11 3/4 wide. So this will be the flap. And now I need piece for the top and the bottom. and the pieces I got left over, I could actually use it. So I will use this one for the top, and I need 2 3/4. So this is the top, and for the bottom I will use this one, even though it has a design, but I'm gonna put it on the bottom. I won't see it anyway, so it will not bother me. So that's gonna be 2 3/4 by 11 3/4. Okay, so we pre-cut all the pieces. We will also need to cut our cardstock. We will need 4 strips, 2 inches wide. So I got 2, and they need to be 11.5 inches long. So 2 inches by 11.5, and we need 4 pieces. So this is third, and fourth, and this has to be 11.5. And 11.5. Okay. So now those black strips, cardstock strips, we're gonna put it on the side, and we will glue the fronts or the paper to every single cardstock, pretty much the way I lay them out. So this one will be for the bottom. This one will be for the top. This one will be for the flap. And then we got the front and the back. So I will glue them off camera. I will come back and show you how they look. Okay, so I got them glued. They feel really nice and sturdy. So I'm glad that I double up on the chipboard. So this is the front. This will be the back. This is the flap for the front. This is the top. And this will be the bottom. So now we will put this together. So I will start from the front. So because for the front I do have an orientation, and I want this to be the front. So I will just turn it over. The next piece will be the bottom. I will butt these together to make sure they are nice and straight. And I will take one of the strips and I will glue it. And I'm trying to position this strip on the middle with about the same distance on one side as the other. just like that. So we got the front, we got the bottom. Now we will do the back. We will make sure that the sides are nice and even. We will glue another strip of the cardstock. This is the 2 inches by 11.5. And I will do the same thing, kind of try to position on the middle. Let's make sure that this is all stuck. Just like that. So now I will turn this. So this is still my front, this is the bottom, this is the back. So now we will position the top. Again, I'm trying to line this up so my edges are nice and even. I think I'm gonna turn this way because sideways somehow it's difficult for me to line up. Okay, this is straight, so I will take another piece, 2 inches by 11.5. And we will glue this right here. Like this. So now I think this side is glued, so I will just run against the score. And that should be even all around. So this is my front, back, bottom, back, top. So to the top, now we need to glue the front flap, and we will use the last piece of the 2 inches by 11.5. Okay, and this is how we're gonna glue this. Okay, so now I think we can start folding this. This should be dry. Okay, so we got the front and the bottom. So now I'm gonna turn this around and we can start working on these sides. And the last one, just like this. So now the glue is still not dry. It will dry clear, you won't even see this, but this will be my front. So now what we need to do, we need to cut paper to cover the inside of this box. For the inside, I will use this paper. This is from the same collection as I used on the front. So every sheet will need to be 11.75 inches wide. So 11.75 by 8.75. So this will be one large side. Then whatever we got left over from that page, we can use it for next panel. And that's gonna be 2 3/4. We will cut another sheet 11 3/4 by 8 3/4. And that's gonna be for the back. Now the leftover piece we're gonna cut to 2 3/4. And that will be for here. So we need one more piece that is 2 3/4. By 11 3/4. Okay, so we got all of our pieces pre-cut, and now we need to glue them. And I will start from this side, and actually this one will be my flap. So yes, we can glue this one here. So let me apply the glue. Now you should have approximately 1/8 of an inch border around. Okay, this piece will be the top, and I don't want to glue this one yet because this is where the handle is gonna be, and we're gonna put brats in there. So I will skip this panel, and now we're gonna glue the back. So I'm looking at the corners in here, approximately 1/8 of an inch space all around. So now this will be the bottom. Okay, and now we have one more panel left, and again I'm trying to position looking on the outside. It should be 1/8 of an inch space on the outside borders, and if you match that, that means your paper is positioned straight all around. Okay, so now we have just about everything wrapped on the inside, with exception of the top panel that will be on the top, and this is where we will create a handle. So now I am gonna put this on the side. For file folder, for the inside of the file folder, we will need to cut piece to make the accordion. So I will use 8.5 by 11 cardstock. So we will cut accordion to 8.5 inches height, and we will need 2 pieces. So the length I'm gonna leave 12 inches. So I'm trimming off just the height. And we will have to score both pieces. And we will score them every half an inch. So it will be half an inch, 1 inch, 1.5, 2. So every half an inch all the way to the end of the sheet. And we will do the same thing with the second sheet. Okay, so now both those pieces we will fold back and forth all the way to the end to create our accordion. Okay, so here is our accordion, and just make sure that both sides are facing the same direction, those two ends. So now we will do the same thing with the second sheet. Okay, so here are our two accordions. So we will turn them to the wrong side and we will start applying glue. So the first flap we're gonna leave alone. We're not gonna do anything with this one. We will apply the glue to the second fold. Just like that. We will take the cardstock and we would put it right on the inside of that groove, and just make sure that your paper is all the way at the end of that fold. So now I will apply glue to the second one. And we will do the same thing. Just like that. And the next one. And we will continue this way all the way to the end. Okay, so at the end you will have this one flap left, and we will leave it alone because otherwise you won't be able to put anything. After we glue this to our base, you won't be able to open up this page, so we will leave it just like that. So I ended up with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 different separations. Okay, so now we're gonna take our first page and we will, this is the first side, we're gonna fold over and we're gonna apply glue to the second fold over piece. Just like that. And we will put this all the way to the edge. Now we're gonna apply glue to the second one. And we will fold over the second page all the way to the edge. Next one, and we will continue like that all the way to the end until we glued all of our pieces. Okay, so here is our file folder. So now we will take our base. So this is the front flap tab, and here is our back.
So I'm going to apply glue to this flap.
Let me just look at that, because I do want to position this on the middle. So I will apply glue right here. And I'm gluing this approximately 1/2 inch from the edge, because the difference between the length of our cardstock, it's 11, our cover is 12, so we got 1 inch difference. If we split into this side and that side, that's about 1/2 inch of playroom on each side. So this side is glued. Let me turn it around. I will apply glue to this flap right here. And now I will glue it just like that, kind of keeping the same distance on both sides in here from the score. So I actually left a little bit playroom in here. This is the front, this is the bottom. So in here I'm leaving a little bit playroom, so the paper that you put in, it will go just a tiny bit deeper. So now this part is done. Now I will apply glue in here on the top. And I don't know if you're gonna be able to see this, but what I'm doing is I'm turning this around, all the way around, and basically the paper will show you where you need to glue your accordion, because it's gonna pretty much lay flat, and then you just have to look at the distance from this side all the way to the end to make sure that it's even on both sides. And I can't open this yet, my glue is not dry. So I will just turn this around, and now my accordion kinda opened up, which is okay. I'm gonna apply this glue in here and fold it right back, and this is how I'm gonna glue into the cover. Alright, so let me turn this inside, and again I am gonna position it straight, looking at this edge to make sure that from the top to the bottom it's nice and even. And we will squish that to make sure that that glue adheres. And here is our file folder. As you can see, you got plenty of room to put anything you want right there. So we still need to apply paper in here on the inside, but we will make a handle. So I do have this piece left, which measures approximately 2.5 inches. So I will score the long way, and I will score at 3/4 and 1 3/4, because I want my handle to be 1 inch. This is the reason why the outside panel I want to be a little bit shorter than 1 inch. Then when you fold over and glue, you will have a little bit more of the body for that handle. So now we're gonna glue this. So we are gluing one side and then the other side on the top of it. So this is 12 inches long right now. I want my handle to be just a little bit smaller, so I will cut this down to about 10 inches. So I cut off 2, and I will wait a minute or 2 for this glue to dry before we actually will start forming this handle and placing on the top, right here on the top of our file folder. Now to do that, we will need 2 brads. Actually, I'm gonna put 4, just like in previous project, just to make sure that it's holding really nice and strong. So I'm hoping that this glue is somewhat dry. So now I will just run over with my bone folder to create that curve. And this is pretty much what you do to your ribbon. You know, one of those plastic ribbons when you are trying to create the swirl. This is pretty much the same thing, it's just that we are working with the paper. So this will be our handle, and I do want to make this side flat. So I'm gonna take approximately 1 inch and create the crease right there, just like that. So this portion will be glued in here, and we're gonna do the same thing on the opposite side, about 1 inch, and I will create that crease. And here is our handle. I should have probably used red or black. Now I will position this the way I want it. I'm gonna try to position this kind of on the middle, and I will make 2 holes on each side. And this doesn't really want to go. That's okay. We're gonna work it this way. The paper is thick, so I have 2 holes on this side, and I will make 2 holes on the opposite side, just like that. When you're making these, make sure you don't hold your finger too close, don't poke yourself. So now I will use a little marker just to mark how I want this to look on both sides. And now I know where I need to punch the hole, right here. So now we made this really thick because I doubled up on a chipboard, but that's quite alright. Just when you're holding from the bottom, just be careful with your fingers. we're gonna do the same thing on this side. So I'm just twisting this tool just so it gets right there. So it's not gonna go that fast. So with the fingers underneath, I'm trying to kind of open them up so I wouldn't poke myself. So now I'm gonna put the bread through it, and I will open up on this side just like that. So I'm opening up this direction because the second one, it's gonna be, it will go the same way. So now this is the second bread. Need to retwist this one. We will open the second one, and I will twist it so it goes the same direction, just like that, and we will open it. And now we're gonna do this side just like that. So now I will just take my scissors and I will try to flatten this, because I want nice look when we put the paper. We need to grab this. So I will do the same thing on this side, just like that. We will try to make them as flat as possible on both sides. So you can see I have them positioned this way. So now I will take the leftover piece that we pre-cut pretty much at the beginning of this video, and I will glue it just like this. Now if you like this project, if you enjoy it, if you like the tutorial, could you please hit like, comment, share and subscribe. I would really appreciate this. Truly helps my channel grow. So now I will just apply this just like that around it. I will put my hand underneath and just work it to make sure that all that glue is spread everywhere. Now we could have placed this paper before putting the breads, but I would have to cover with something anyway, and because I wanted to keep the same color and design throughout, I really did not want to apply any more paper to this. I think this way it just looks more professional. It doesn't look like we are hiding anything. So now our box is almost ready, and I will use 2 Velcro dots. I will try to position them evenly from the top in here, and also I try to keep the same distance on the sides. So now we're gonna put the other piece on the top, and now when you closing this, make sure that all your sides are nice and straight. And when you open for the first time, just be careful, take your time, because you don't want to rip these out. And now when you open it, now you can really kind of push them and help them stay put. So now, as you can see, our project is complete. I think it just looks beautiful on both sides. I think it looks very elegant. I absolutely love it, the way it came out. I hope you enjoyed this also. And I hope to see you in my next video.